Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, this is another MCU Marvel Studios review today. Well, look, I guess I should start off by saying first and foremost, I love the MCU. I always have, but recently, I'm not going to get into it in this video, of course, but the MCU, especially Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, even some aspects of Doctor Strange 2, which I love that film, but especially Thor: Love and Thunder, a lot of the MCU has been kind of sacrificing their story in favor of an agenda or a message or to be woke, right? That's it. Now, none of, Miss Marvel I think is pretty trash, but, Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't hate it, but, there are some woke things in there. I think the MCU should, obviously steer away from that and just make quality storytelling, like they freaking used to. But I didn't really expect to love this that much, but I just watched Werewolf by Night, which is canon to the MCU, but it's kind of, it's kind of like its own thing, so to speak. Now, Kevin Feige did say that he's going to try to make this, these characters in the storyline and, this whole era of MCU world building more prominent in the future, probably like Blade or Midnight Suns or hell, even Ghost Rider. But there's a lot of stuff in here that, really blew me away. I mean, first of all, it does feel like it is trying to tell different stories where, you have MCU, which has a little bit of comedy, which worked. Some of the MCU comedy doesn't work. I think in this it did. But you get like this, black and white style filmmaking, which is really cool. I mean, it's extremely unique, in that way, and I think it's really cool to set it up in like almost like an old Tom and Jerry or an old, WB style era cartoon. It's like the title card, and then it slowly fades to black, and then you get your black and white thing, and it obviously is not family friendly, like this, and I'll get to that in a minute. But there was nothing woke that I could tell in this at all. Thank God. Finally something in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that isn't pushing something down my throat. You know what I mean? It's just good storytelling. Thank the freaking Marvel gods, alright? Thanks, Stan Lee. But finally we have something that is worth my time. And I think that, honestly, if the MCU, again, continues to tell their quality stories without all this message pushing, I think it'll be pretty cool. And to be honest, again, the CGI, what's in it, is pretty good. I don't know if it's Man-Thing or Swamp Thing. I think it's Man-Thing. Tell me in the comments down below. Again, obviously spoilers. Why would you watch this if you haven't seen it? It's 55 minutes. It's basically an hour long on Disney+. Let's go check it out. But, regarding the content of this, I guess, special or short, whatever you want to call it, it is black and white for a majority. Of course, you've seen it, but, then it kind of transitions to color at the end, which is really cool. I love how they do that. It gives it that old-timey feel. They even have, like, the film, like, sparkles and, not sparkles, that sounds weird. You know what I mean? I don't know, the film grain or whatever the fudge you call it. You know what I mean? Like, when old shit movies are, like, and they're, like, just, doing that, you see, like, little black spots all over the screen and the black and white footage. I mean, that's what it... but it looks really cool, and I think that is really cool that they actually, added, they went that, they didn't have to do that. It could have just been like black and white, and it was, oh, it's modern 2022 black and white, but they tried to make it seem like it is an older style footage, because that's what they, were going for in their tone. Now, the only negative, again, I can really say for this, special, is that, again, it does feel like they're trying to do different things. I feel like, one, it's an MCU project, so they have to stick to their rules, right? Certain amount of comedy. They got it worked, and some good plot, some good action, which it's in there. But you also have this, they're trying to go for the second thing, which is like a, I guess like an old-style, old-timey feel to it with the black and white footage and all that. And that works. That is successful in their attempt. And then you have brutal-ass violence. There were several holy shit moments, and I literally said that out loud, because that was insane. Now, the MCU, ever since Iron Man 1, was never intended for children. It was intended for teenagers and up. Now, listen, teenagers are children! In franchise land, children and teenagers and adults are three different genres of viewers. And, what if you let your kid watch the MCU, you do whatever the heck you want to do. I would not show a kid the MCU. I would say 13, teenager up. Because, it's not for children. There's sex stuff, there's swearing, there's a butt ton of violence. And in this, I mean, I was thinking, oh, Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness is pretty, intense with violence. They all are. People die left and right in these movies. There's a little bit of blood, but I never expected them to go full R. Now, this is what's funny, is that it's not rated R. It's actually TV-14, which is the equivalent, the TV equivalent of a PG-13 movie rating. That makes no effing sense, because I guess they're, I don't know, either they didn't want to have it be the first R-rated thing and they wanted to save that for Deadpool 3, but it's mind-boggling, because it's TV-14, the same freaking rating as Miss Marvel, where all they do is, you know, maybe some guy gets shot, or like she punches a guy through a freaking wall with her crazy purple gloves, her magic, you know, unicorn hands. But in this, it's like people are getting their arms cut off with swords, and there's blood, and someone gets their neck slit twice, and then they get stabbed in the head with a sword, and the werewolf's just ripping the shit out of people, and he's tearing, like, chunks of flesh off. You see the guy's rib cage, they're swearing. It's insane, and, you know, it is definitely R-rated violence. Which is not a bad thing, because I always, you know, I hate, I just hate when people say, the MCU is for children, or, you know, those stupid-ass Screen Rant videos, where they're like, top 10 Marvel videos not meant for children. And I'm like, none of them are, you know what I mean? But whatever. But this is the first one where it truly felt like adult only. And again, having that 14+ rating doesn't make a whole lot of effing sense. I guess they can be like, well, it's black and white, so the blood is black and white. It's still blood, you know what I mean? Like, in Ninjago, when someone, like, dies off screen, you know, when Garmadon kills, you know, someone, or, you know, whoever, whatever, what happens, if there's a death off screen, it's still a death. You know what I mean? It's still the same exact impact of that death. Maybe, you know, you don't see it happen, but, you know, someone still dies. It's the same type of thing. Blood is still blood. If it's black and white, or freaking red, or purple, whatever the heck you want to call it, color it. So I don't understand why it got a 14. And again, I'm not complaining, I just don't understand it. But there is a lot of good stuff in here. Again, you know, the whole aspect of these people trying to hunt these monsters, and you get this guy who's a werewolf by night, and he's kind of rescuing Ted, or, you know, Man-Thing, or whatever. Man-Thing or Swamp Thing. I think it's Man-Thing. Man-Thing. But I think Swamp Thing might be DC. I don't know. But they're confusing. But this is overall very, very, very well produced. Great thing to watch for Halloween. And, you know, just having all this stuff in there where it's like, wow, this is... wow. I mean, it is violent, you know what I mean? But again, that's the tone they were going for. But again, speaking of tone, they tried to get for the MCU, and then they tried to get for, you know, classic feel, and then they went for like a hard R for the MCU. Which again, I don't have an interest, you know, I have an interest in, I don't have an issue with it, because it is different. But, you know, 100% execution successful, I don't know about that. But I would say at least 90%. I think it was very fun. Funny at times. There weren't any cringy, dumb jokes. It wasn't woke. There was no political agenda. It was just a good Marvel production, and I think hopefully if they continue this trend, we'll be getting back to that. You know, I love Moon Knight. You know, I think in terms of woke, the only things I would, you know, Miss Marvel, and of course, you know, She-Hulk, and, what is it? Thor: Love and Thunder. But, you know, maybe that one line in Doctor Strange 2, but that's pushing it. But overall, you know, I do love the MCU, and I had a few issues with their recent outings, but this one is very effing good, and it's definitely worth your time if you like Marvel. Again, they show a little thing of the Avengers in the beginning, but again, this is 99% just its own unique thing. Still set in the canon MCU, it's just a completely different era of filmmaking and style that we've never seen before in the Marvel Universe. So tell me down below without spoiling if you liked Werewolf by Night. I really freaking liked it. I'm going to give it an A. Again, my only reason for not giving it an A+ is because, again, tonally, it felt like they were going for a few different things, and I think having that, like, hard R violence and blood mixed with, like, you know, I guess, you know, a black and white, you know, really, oh, they're trying to be funny and cutesy, and maybe, okay, maybe the old lady who's like the freaking Elsa's mom with the bloodstone, her acting was kind of wonky. She was like, oh, you know, I mean, she was just kind of being all weird. I don't know, but it wasn't good. But again, maybe that's what they told her to do. You know, it's like George Lucas with Hayden Christensen and Anakin. Everyone, yeah, look, he's not that good of an actor, but. You know, the reason why he's acting like a bitch and he's whining all the time is because George was like, look, you're a teenager, it's a whole thing, but you get the idea. Sometimes directors tell the actors to act a certain way because of the tone. But she was the only one acting, you know, overacting and kind of acting a little crazy and a little cheesy. Other than that, though, I really enjoyed Werewolf by Night, and hopefully we can get more Marvel content like this soon. Tell me down below, without spoiling, what you thought about Werewolf by Night. Really, really cool stuff. Just a whole new era of Marvel that I hope they don't F this up, but I really can't wait to see what this, you know, new era of storytelling for Marvel brings. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.